Welcome to the Texas Women in Music podcast. I'm your host, Shauna Rose, and today I am so excited to introduce to you Sammi Ray, the Texas-born indie powerhouse who's carving out a lane all her own at just 23 years old. Raised in College Station, Texas, and now making waves in Nashville, she's quickly becoming one of the most compelling new voices in indie pop and rock. Her latest single, Smoking Gun, is a slow burn anthem full of moody guitars, sun-drenched angst, and driving nowhere fast with the windows down kind of energy. It sets the stage for her upcoming EP, California, a project that perfectly balances beachy escapism with late-night introspection. With 4 Josie Award nominations and a second-place win in the 2024 TCMA Band Showdown, Sammi Ray is no stranger to well-earned attention. But trust me, her magic hits hardest when she performs live, where her raw emotion and bold presence turns into lifelong fans. Please help me welcome Sammi Ray. Hello, Sammi Ray.
Hi, Shauna. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So I've heard I can address you as Sammi Ray, Sammy, or my favorite, hey girl.
Yeah, anything works, honestly. Shout across the room. I'm probably nosy enough to turn around anyway, so it worked out.
So let's get into it. How young were you when you started guitar lessons?
I've never actually taken a guitar lesson, but when I want to say I was in the second grade, my parents got me this purple Hannah Montana guitar that I proceeded to break every string off of except for the high E string. And I would sit there and just ping away and sing like my Taylor Swift songs for them. They have videos of this, by the way. And I would sit there and I would ping on it. And then around the fifth grade, I actually went and saw Taylor Swift in concert for the second time. And I got to be up close at the barrier whenever she was like playing acoustic. And I was like, I gotta learn how to do that. So I went and looked up every video I could on YouTube of her playing and taught myself like the shapes. So to this day, I still know nothing about guitar. I just play it.
That's awesome. Maybe you have a little gift there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hopefully, I hope I play things right. Every once in a while, they'll be like, play an E flat major 7. I'm like, what's an E flat major 7? Somebody show me right now.
Or when did you realize you had a vocal talent?
I really don't think that I had vocal talent for a long time. I just really liked to sing. And I would sing in the car, I would sing in the shower. I was always singing from the time that I could talk. But then around the time I turned 8, my parents put me in one vocal lesson and I was obsessed. And then by the time I got to high school, I was always in choir. I liked to sing at the church, anything I could to be singing for people. I did talent shows. And then in high school, I actually got my first job as a grocery store clerk in my hometown to pay for voice lessons out in College Station with the big dogs out there. And then I started doing voice lessons for about 2 years before I went to college.
Oh, wow. Wow. So what or who inspired you to pursue music performances?
Honestly, I think it was more of going to concerts and festivals as a kid that made me want to do that. My first 2 concerts were Taylor Swift concerts, and then my parents started taking me to rock festivals because they're really into rock music. We weren't a country music family at all. And my parents were like, let's take her to rock festivals. Let's go to Buzz Fest every year. I was crowd surfing as a little kid, and I watched the mosh pits and I watched the performers. I saw Paris perform one time. They're the ones who spelled with like a V. And I was just like, I gotta be her. Like, that's so cool. And it's going to all these things. I saw Panic at the Disco 7 times one summer because I was obsessed with Brendan Urie. I was like, I gotta learn how to do what they do. So I went to as many live music events as I possibly could. And that's kind of when I realized, like, oh, I want to be doing what they're doing. I started getting restless. I'm like, I should be up there on the stage. Me and my 12-year-old self could not have hung with Brendan Urie, but I wanted to. So
Oh, wow. So that was I guess, your favorite concert you've ever seen?
My favorite concert I've ever seen, I wouldn't even say that it happened until I moved to Nashville. I would say probably my favorite concert I've ever been to is one of my friends' concerts. It was an indie show, a house show, and I just thought it was so cool that we were in someone's backyard. is my drummer actually. He had an original band moving from his hometown and they put on a show and they released their album and it was literally in his backyard. They put up a big tarp and they had like a video projector just projecting images and there was like 100 people in his backyard. I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I was like, forget the stadiums. This is way cooler that people just showed up to a backyard and we put speakers up and everybody's singing now. So I think that was probably the coolest one of the Overlooks concerts.
Oh, that's amazing. That sounds so great. So, who are your biggest musical influences? Like family, close friends, or is it an artist?
You know, I always say I don't really come from a musical family, but I do remember sitting around like the fire as a kid and like singing with my aunts and my grandma. And my dad really likes to do like Weird Al rewrites of popular songs in the car. He always finds a way to make them funny. He'll just start singing a song. And, mostly I think I was just a really big music nerd. They got me Rock Band and Guitar Hero and was only ever interested in things that had to do with music. All the TV shows I liked, Hannah Montana, Big Time Rush, like it's always something to do with music. And my parents started giving me like CDs. I would just sit there. I'm old enough to know about the CD cases. That's my one. That's my one. I get made fun of a lot for being young, but I do remember the CD case. It was leopard print. I'd sit there and pick out the CDs that I wanted to listen to. And I just remember going and being so obsessed with like Taylor Swift as a kid, and then it turned into Panic at the Disco. I was obsessed with them for a while, and then I discovered John Mayer, which I had sworn him off in like the first grade. But in high school, I came around to the John Mayer of it all, and I have a lot of big, just different influences. My favorite album ever is by Lord, but I don't listen to anything but that album. I like the 1975. I liked how just raw their sound was coming from the UK, and just kind of feel like I was exposed to lots of different kinds of music growing up.
Right, right. Okay. So you would say that that's the background that shaped your sound?
Oh yeah, just being everything thrown at the wall, what stuck, what made my ears just want to listen to a little bit more. Had
Tingle,
so many
right?
different people just playing so many different things. I was like, George Strait, awesome. Taylor Swift, that's cool. Britney Spears, love her. There's so many people like so many different types of music around me that I got to listen to a little bit of it all.
Yeah, and it gives you that visceral feeling. It's just like I feel it in my soul.
Yeah, so I like the tingles. I like
Yeah.
when music gets me tingly.
Yes. So what's your most memorable performance experience?
This is gonna sound bad, but it's always the bad ones that I remember the most. Um, I would say the most memorable performance I ever had was I was on stage in Nashville, a crowd of about 300 to 400 people in front of me. Somebody comes up, they ask me, they're like, "Do you know Semi Charm Life by Third Eye Blind? Do you think you could sing that song for us?" And I was so excited. I was like, yes, I know the Doot 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 song. I'll love to sing that for you. I did not, in fact, know any words other than Doot 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 to that song. And I'm in front of all these people. And I'm just like, uh-oh. We did a complete Sammy's version of that. I wanted to crawl in a hole and die a little after that, but I had to play for 3 more hours. And we grew, we got past it. I went home and I learned the song and I don't need words anymore. It's one of my favorite ones to play. Got it memorized, but that one definitely shaped me. I was like, don't tell people you know things you don't know if you know them now. Because that was pretty embarrassing. That might be my most memorable. I just remember feeling hot. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? But it's okay now. We're good now.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you mentally prepare for a live show?
I feel like I don't really. I feel like I just show up and go. At this point, I've played so many shows. I used to get like really nervous and be like, I can't eat before, I can't do anything. Just need like to sit down and take some deep breaths. But I can play up to 4 shows in a day here in Nashville. I played a little over 300 shows last year. So at that point, it just kind of becomes honestly more of just a routine that you get into. You're like, okay, next show, let's go do it. The first 5 songs, you just stop caring if you're cringy at all. You're just into the music, you get back into your routine, you play the same songs over and over, you got your little bits you do with the crowd. I tell the same like 5 cow jokes every set.
Wow. So it's like not like a job because you're doing something amazingly fun. I can just imagine that it's so fun. Um, but yeah, 4 shows in one
You
day.
know, I would say it's really like a job. I tell people that all the time. Like, it really is. You
Is
clock
it?
in, clock out. You're sick of people by the end of the day. You know, there's times when it's really fun. I have a really awesome, fun job. There's other times when you're not in the mood and you don't want to go to work and you don't want to smile for people and you don't want to take the pictures. And, you know, people were playing at bars, they get too intoxicated, they can ruin the fun for you. It really is a job at its core, and you got to show up and give your best every single day that you do your job. Just like
Right.
everybody else's job, you show up, you're like, oh, I wanted to take a day off, but people bought tickets. So I'm gonna show up and smile for everyone, even though when I go home and I like punch the pillow, be like, that day was horrible. But you know, I really do think it's like a job performing this much. Everything you do, you have to be on 100% of the time. You got to eat when you can. We don't really get like we perform during meal times, so we got to be creative about when we eat. We're scheduling things out. You know, everything's on the Google Calendar,
Yeah.
down to calling your moms on the Google Calendar because you only have 5 minutes someday to do that. So I really would say like it's a really fun job, but it's still a job at the end of the day. There's still things you got to do the same as every other job.
Right, right. How do you plan a set list for a live show or multiple live shows?
You know, it really starts with who am I playing with? I have my A team of guys I like to play with, but you know, sometimes someone's sister gets married and they're out and you get a sub player in to come play with you. So it starts out, I look at the guys that I'm playing with for the night and I try to play music I know that they'll enjoy. If we're doing a cover set, you know, and old Timmy over here, I don't know anyone named Timmy. Well, Timmy over here is like, I really hate George Strait, which is like a curse word to me. We won't sing George Strait that night. Like, I'm not here to make anybody not like their job as much. We also just throw in songs that we like more. Sometimes you get a group of people that are like, we're never playing Bohemian Rhapsody ever. That's so hard. Other times you get like four dudes on stage, you're like, we could probably tear that up. And we'll just go ahead and play it middle of set, turn around and be like, y'all feel like playing this song tonight? Of course, we always put the originals in when we're planning that. I more so like to keep things upbeat. If you're gonna slow it down, you got to bring it back up in one or two songs, or else people get sad. I like sad songs. Not everybody's like that. So when I'm planning, it's really about who are we playing for and who am I playing with, and I try to build it around that.
Nice, nice. Who are your favorite musicians to play with?
My drummer Colin is my favorite person to play with ever. He's just so fun. He has this big afro he likes to throw around, and he's like a gentle giant. He's from Indiana. He's so tall, and you would never guess that when he's sitting behind a drum kit. I look like when he's sitting down and I'm standing up, we're about the same height. So it's really fun to get to be taller than him at times and just a really good hang. I like playing with him a lot because I know if we're on a really dead middle of winter, there's literally bartenders and no one else in there, and we can still have fun on stage together. So I always like playing with him. I really like playing with my friend Jacob Miller. He played one summer for me on the bass, and we're constant collaborators. We like to write songs. He actually co-wrote my latest song, Smoking Gun, with me um, a couple months ago. We ended up putting that out in May. So for one summer there, we got to play together, and then he got his publishing deal for songwriting, and he decided he was retiring the old bass, but he did play on the record. So I got to spend some more time with him in the studio. So I really like playing with him. And then Alex Bignata is my number one guy. He plays guitar for me. We are in the studio together. He produces for me now. My best friend. I like hanging out with him a lot.
Oh, that's wonderful. I've heard that bands are like a family.
Oh, they
And
really are. We get in fights. We like don't get along half the time. We're like at the Waffle House brawling, but at the same time, like if you said something about my band, like I'm brawling you now. It's one of those like good family vibes. You got the creepy uncle sometimes, but for the most part, we all get along. We all love each other. We spend a lot of time together, and you just don't join a band with people you can't spend 36 hours straight with in a car, you know? Got to
yeah,
be people you like.
right, for sure. Have you had any interesting or funny fan interactions?
I had any interesting or funny fan interactions. You know, there was a guy. This was interesting, kind of creepy. There was a guy for a while, which, you know, I play on Broadway. I was posting my schedule whenever I was playing on Broadway, which is more of the 4 hour, we're not playing a lot of original type of shows. Posting my schedule, and I would get off the stage like once an hour to go talk to people in the crowd, and I would like go to the bathroom, and this guy kept like hiding around corners to watch my show. He lived in town. And I would like walk around the corner to like go to the women's restroom, and he would like be there and be like, "I'm sorry," and like run off. And it happened like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, "Why don't you ever talk to me? I don't know you. Like, why are you hiding in the corner? Like, come enjoy the show." So that was like a weird like summer that happened. This guy was just coming to every single show, but he like wouldn't sit down and watch the show. He was just like trying to act like he wasn't there. I don't know. I have no idea why. He stopped coming after I confronted him. It was weird. I was like, you can sit at a table, and he just never showed up again.
Hmm, that is
It
interesting.
was very interesting.
How do you feel the music industry changed within the last few years?
I feel like there was two significant times in my lifetime that I can remember that music changed so much. And I would say that's 2012, around the time Spotify became king and streaming started. And then the other time was COVID. I think those are the two times that I really noticed it changed, because I went from looking at CDs to be able to listen to anything. And I wasn't putting out music back in 2012. I was like in elementary school drinking my juice boxes. I didn't care at all. But that year, everybody switched over to online, social media started, and people were still doing like traditional routes of making music and putting it out. But then you got to like my later teen years, and it started being, if you're not an influencer, you're not making music. Everybody's online now. You can't just make music, and no one's getting paid. So how do we make money as musicians? And I'm a kid in high school looking at it like, I don't know what I'm doing at all. I'm just going to watch the YouTube videos. And then my senior year of high school, COVID hit. As soon as I was like, I'm going to figure it out, everything changed again. There was
Oh,
no touring, there was no doing anything. And I decided to get an education. I went to college for a little while and learned. I wanted to know how to be a recording artist. I was like, I want to be Ariana Grande in the studio, mixing my vocal chops. Like, how do I do that? How do I get in the studio? And I spent so many hours there. I was the kid in my class that was begging the seniors, like, could I please sit in on your sessions? I want to learn what you're doing here. I want to watch everything. And always on the YouTube videos, always going out and seeing other musicians perform. I went to every open mic that I could find in town. Every time there was music, I wanted to be there. Watched a lot of concerts at the music school. And I just really wanted to learn, how do people do this now that COVID, how are people doing it?
yeah.
So as soon as the world opened back up, I went to Nashville and I found out, well, no one's doing it. No one knows how to do this at all. We're all just on the internet, and we're all just living in the same city. And so I still feel like we're kind of recovering from that and getting out on the road. Some people are still scared to like go play a festival, which, Bonnaroo got canceled this year. So the festival circuit's kind of weird. I thought that was maybe how you do it. I feel like it's just a big learning process of, how are you going to make money since streaming just killed like the record sales? And then how are you going to get out in front of people nowadays, especially when everybody turned to the internet? And now if you don't have like 100,000 followers, you're not playing that festival. You can't send in like a demo. They're not
Yeah.
listening to that. So it's all just a learning process. But I would say those two events were like the biggest changes I've seen.
Wow. Yeah, that seems pretty drastic. What's something about the music industry most people don't realize?
How normal everybody in the industry is. Everybody has like 3 or 4 jobs. You go to a house party, and like your favorite TikTok artist that looks like they're killing it online, they're coming from their shift at the Waffle House, because everybody has another job that they're pretending they don't have in order to pretend that they're doing really well in music. Everybody's just working so hard, and every single one of us is weird. We're all like weird music kids. Like whatever your picture of the weird band kid is from middle school, that's all of us just as adults with like better teeth. Like we all got braces, and everybody forgot how weird we were, but everybody's so normal. I know a couple celebrities at this point, and I'll see them out, and they're just people. Like it's kind of taken away the, I'm so starstruck whenever I meet somebody. Like every single person you see in the media that you're like, they're so big. Like no, when they're hungover, they also want McDonald's French fries. They're just humans. They also rewatch Gilmore Girls every fall. Like just normal people. There's nobody that's really like superstar, too big for this world. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, yeah. Perception is everything, right?
Hmm.
What advice would you give to emerging artists?
What advice? Nobody knows anything. Everybody's throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. Everybody that's ever made it, no one's ever making it that way again. It's once in a lifetime when people make it. You literally just throw things out there, and sometimes things take off and sometimes they don't. I don't know one person that knows the secret to success that's like, successful. Everybody I know that's not very successful is like, I know what it takes to make it. But you never find people at the top telling you that because no one knows what it takes to make it. It really is lightning in a bottle. So, listen to people, don't listen to them, but just know there's really no secret. You just got to try things until it works.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. There's no book on it.
There's plenty of books on it, but I wouldn't trust those books, honestly. Things change too much to trust the books.
Get some luck and there you go, right?
Hmm.
So here's some fun questions. What's currently on your playlist?
It's currently on my playlist. Okay, this is going to sound weird, but I have just quit listening to music recently in the car and I have started listening to audiobooks because I
Okay.
figured out that music makes me work and audiobooks makes me entertained. When I'm
Oh,
doing all these late car rides, I'll do like 16 hours in the car and I'm like, I can't listen to Paramore anymore. It's hurting my head now. Just start listening to drums and figuring out what chords do. There's like a science behind music. So I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. I'm currently redoing Twilight right now. So that's my life. I'm falling back in love with Edward, still hating Jacob. Nothing's changed. It's been 20 years. Nothing's changed.
oh, if only you could see those sparkles.
If only I could see them in person, I would ask him for his skincare routine.
Yes, yes. How do I get so shiny? What is your day job?
Music. I do music 24/7. I moved to Nashville when I was 20 years old. I had no plan. I didn't know what I was going to do for work. I saved up just enough money for 1 month of rent working my college job, which was teaching preschool gymnastics and kindergarten subbing in my hometown. And I saved up just enough money to get here for 1 month. I was like, if I can't make it after 7 days, I'll go get a job at McDonald's. I'll do what it takes to be here.
Yeah,
And first day in town, I played the Bluebird Cafe. I met some people, started getting on stages by the second day, never did anything but music ever since. It's been 3 years, never had a job outside of music.
that's fantastic. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't really have to scratch and claw so much.
I feel like I scratched and clawed, but like from inside the house instead of outside the house. It was like I got in the door really quickly, but then it was a lot of stairs once you were inside.
Ah, I love
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
So y'all are the first to hear about it, but I am opening for some people here in Nashville at some of the local venues. So keep an eye out on social media for that announcement because I'm not allowed to talk about it yet. I can just breadcrumb. Um, but I got a lot of shows. And then, of course, if you want to come see my cover band, we play 5 days a week in Nashville. If you DM me on social media, happy to tell you where we're at. But
Uh,
anytime someone DMs me and they want to know where my band's going to be at every day, I'll let them know the entire time that they're in town. So hit me up on the socials.
yeah. So tell us about what a writer's round is in Nashville.
So, Writers Round is what I figured out because I didn't play much in Texas whenever I was still a kid. I played maybe 4 shows ever before I moved to Nashville. So, I was not very involved in the scene as a kid. But I found out that they're kind of like round robins or song swaps, is what they call them in Texas. But in Nashville, they're called Writers Rounds. Essentially, you get 3 to 5 writers on stage together and you go one by one and play your songs. A lot of the times the writers know each other. If you're new, they'll stick you with the group of probably newer people, but you start learning the people that play certain rounds. There's different rounds to play in Nashville. My favorite's the Nashville Tour Stop with Aaron. Super cool round. I knew Aaron for like 2 years before he ever asked me to play one, and I was so honored. I was like, I made it. Like I get to play Nashville Tour Stop. But you get a couple writers on stage together and you just tell the stories behind your songs. You play them for people. It's a really great opportunity to try out new material like an open mic, except for it's not open to everyone. It is scheduled in advance. You get told when you're going to be on stage, who you're going to be on stage with. And it's really cool. You can find a lot of collaborators that way. But if you're ever going to come to Nashville and you want to see original music, I would seek out a writer's round. It's where you're going to find all of the new music that's not even out. It's songs that people haven't put out yet. They're just putting them out to the world for the very first time, playing them for people. You'll go see someone play a song and then it won't get a good response. So they'll go ahead and rewrite it and bring it to the next round. You can keep up with people. We usually make the rounds of the different writers rounds throughout the year. So you'll see a lot of cool not recorded music. You can have your chance to influence the artist. If you like to write music, it's a great chance to go listen to the stuff that they're doing now, because a lot of the things we put out as artists were recorded like 2, 3 years ago. So it's a good chance to hear what they're writing now. If you like their stuff, you can collaborate with them, go hit them up. It's a really cool community out in Nashville.
Oh, wow. That sounds exciting. Makes me want to go to Nashville now. Tell us about the song Smoking Gun.
The Smoking Gun is my latest release, and it is my little baby. It is my first co-written song I've ever put out. So other than Smoking Gun, everything's been a solo write. But I sat down with my friend Jacob Miller back about a year ago, a couple months ago, and we sat in my living room with no furniture in it because being young means I didn't have any furniture yet. But I got furniture now. But we sat on the floor, and I had this idea that I had written a while before. And the idea was I was happy before and I'm going to be happy again. I want to write a song about that. Like, the typical breakup songs is it's the end of the world. I love those songs. Those are my favorite songs. But I wanted to write the song about, you know what? It feels like the end of the world right now, but it's going to be okay again. I'm going to be happy. I believe in myself. And once I'm done being sad, it's going to be okay. And I wanted to write that song with Jacob because I felt like it was in his wheelhouse. I actually wrote the entire first verse on my own and sent it to him. And he said, hold on to that. And we wrote it and we redid most of the first verse. And he brought the idea for the chorus. And I thought that was really cool because it's really like a 50-50 collaboration on that song. For the bridge, I remember us just sitting there and we threw so many ideas at the wall trying to figure out what we wanted to say. I was like, we got to tell the whole story. This is the point where we're crashing out. And he was like, I don't know if we crash out yet. Like, maybe we should crash out at the very end. I'm like, no, you crash out now. And when we wrote it, he thought it was going to be a country song because I had been putting out country records for the last couple years. But, in my personal life, I have always loved rock music. I wanted to go play rock music the second I was getting on stages. And, I briefly fell in love with country and I wanted to do an album in the country genre. I put it out and then I was like, I'm going to go play rock music after that. I have to. I love performing rock music. Performing country music taught me that I don't like performing country music that much. I'm more of a jump around person, and you can't do that to George Jones very often, I like dancing to country music, so I thought I would like performing country music. But it turns out I love performing rock music. So I was like, when we go to the studio, we're gonna put as many like Kings of Leon guitars in there and like as many like Panic at the Disco ideas. We're gonna try to make it as rock as possible. And I feel like we really accomplished that. It's very different from everything else in my discography, but I can say with confidence that is the direction we are headed with music. That song is my favorite thing I've put out ever. I love singing it. I like playing it. I just think it's so fun. But yeah, that's my most recent release. So put that out back in May.
Fantastic. So we're going to use some photos in our promos with you in the red dress. And I'm told there's a story behind the red dress.
That red dress is my high school prom dress.
Oh,
Yeah, when we wanted to do the video for my song Four Little Letters, it's my first music video that I ever did. And I just wanted to have like the big ball gown moment. I was like, let me bring my like vintage looking, like Super 55 microphone. Looks like an old school microphone. I was like, we got to do like the crooner. Like, I purposely picked my favorite venue in Nashville at the time was the Bowery Vaults. Now I just don't film there because I did the video and it got so much recognition. I was like, I gotta find new spots. What do you mean? They're gonna know
oh,
I use the same location. But they have the big, beautiful red curtains. It opens up. It's a beautiful venue. Vero, the owner, was very, very nice to us and let us do the video there. And it's like, I gotta have a big dress. I don't have money for a big dress. So what am I gonna do? So I went and I was like, Mom, I think I'm gonna wear the high school prom dress. I think I'm gonna wear that dress. It's pretty. Let's see if it still fits. I sucked in a lot, but I fit in the dress, and we did the music video in one take. And I got out of that dress as quick as I possibly could. It's like this is hard to sit in. But yeah, it was my high school prom dress, so I'm glad it got some more use other than the one night. I really do love that video. And it got nominated for a Josie Award, which is the independent awards here in Nashville for indie artists. So really hoping that we take home that win. Chaz Mazzotta did the video and we did everything in the one take. And I was so nervous that it wasn't going to look good, but he made it look amazing. And, I can still fit in my high school prom dress. So
Not a lot of people can say that
that's
after.
all I'm saying.
Yeah. Good for you. Where can we purchase merch?
Got to come to a show. I bring it to every show. We got koozies, we got hats, we got t-shirts, we got all the little things. We even have a Lone Star Girl koozie that's specific to my album alongside the regular logo merch. So if you come to a show, you could get one of those. I also give out free stickers at all my shows. So there's something for everyone. You just got to make it out to a live show. I want to meet you. I want to shake your hand,
There you go. What's your newest album's name?
I just put out my country album in August, and that was called Here I Am. And really love her. I wrote that album when I was 19, and then I recorded it when I was 20, and it took until I was 23 to put it out. Those finances, I played those 300 shows. I had a goal. Everybody thought I was crazy. I was like, I want the album. I gotta have an album. Everybody said, do a single. I said, no, I gotta have an album. And I'm so proud of that album. It's a story album, top to bottom. They're not in order. I always tell everybody like the first person is going to get like a special piece of merch or something, but it does tell a story if you listen to the entire thing of a singular storyline. So you figure that out. Again, find me on the socials. I got something for you. But proud of that album. It did pretty well considering it got me nominated for some cool stuff at the Josie Awards this year. And I'm proud of her. You can also buy physical copies of my album at the show if you come see something. I finally figured out after like the first 5 albums I signed to stop signing over my face. My drummer said it looked like I gave myself a mustache and I didn't even think about it. So those first 5 copies, we're not going to talk about it. I'll sign above now.
It's learning. It's okay.
All learning. It's an all learning process.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you, Sammi Rae, for joining us today. It's going to be so great to watch you grow as an artist. Thank you
so much for having me. Thank y'all.
That was the incredible Sammi Rae, a rising force in the alternative pop genre, a fearless songwriter and an artist whose sound hits you straight in the chest. Whether she's bringing the heat to a smoky club or lighting up a summer festival stage, Sammi delivers every lyric with raw honesty and electric energy. Be sure to follow her journey, stream her latest single, Smoking Gun, and keep your eyes open for her upcoming EP, California. Be sure to visit her website at www.sammyraymusic.com and catch her on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Her music is on Apple Music, Spotify, and on her YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us today for another episode of the Texas Women in Music podcast. You can catch all our podcast episodes at www.texaswomeninmusic.com. I'm your host, Shauna Rose. Until next time, keep listening, keep supporting, and keep celebrating women in music.